the story of Bad Ape, and how it could be connected to the story of Proximus Caesar. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes introduced several interesting characters, from humans with the goal of communicating through space, to primates with the desire to conquer the world. However, Bad Ape's influence seems to be present in the story. But how did this charismatic ape influence future generations, possibly being one of the ancestors of Proximus Caesar? In this video, we'll be looking at the backstory of Bad Ape and how it connects to the Kingdom of Planet of the Apes. And for more videos from the Planet of the Apes universe, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Welcome to the Oasis Geek. Before we continue with this video, I invite you to participate in our new House of the Dragon giveaway, in which we are offering a Funko Pop of one of the characters from the House of the Dragon. To participate, all you have to do is subscribe to this channel and comment on who is your favorite character from House of the Dragon and why. The winner will be announced on June 30th. To understand how the story of Bad Ape connects to the story of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, we must go back to the beginning of the story, before the fall of mankind due to the simian flu.
I take it myself.
In the United States, there were different zoos, where apes were used for entertainment or experimentation. In Caesar's trilogy, we saw how his colony escaped from the clutches of a supposed sanctuary that mistreated the animals, and we also saw other places where apes were subjected to experiments, but later, they were liberated by Caesar. But the story of Bad Ape is not actually linked to Caesar, or at least not at first. The story of Bad Ape begins in Reno, Nevada, where Bad Ape was a primate who was part of the zoo's safari. But this primate, unlike other apes, behaved chaotically. He used to throw objects at people and mistrust his keepers. According to the stories, humans called him Bad Ape, something that eventually became his actual name. However, something happened. Humans began to stop visiting the zoo. Worldwide quarantines started, and quickly human civilization began to decline. Bad Ape started to experience a change in mentality, as he saw how every day there were fewer and fewer humans because of the simian flu. He realized that his intelligence started to increase, and the fight between apes and humans was unleashed. Bad Ape saw how the apes went from being the entertainment and object of mankind's experiments to becoming the #1 target, and Bad Ape came to a conclusion. The only way to survive was to escape from the zoo. Over time, Bad Ape developed the ability to speak by observing humans. Gradually, he imitated human sounds and words, which eventually allowed him to communicate on a basic level. This ability to speak gave him a significant advantage in his new life outside the zoo. After escaping from the zoo, Bad Ape had to adapt to a completely different environment. He learned that wearing clothes helped him stay warm in cold weather and protected in harsh climates. He found abandoned garments on his explorations and started wearing them to protect himself from the changing weather. This habit made him stand out among other apes, as he was one of the few that wore clothes. During these years, Bad Ape discovered an old quarantine facility called the Border. This place had been abandoned by humans, but still contained valuable supplies, such as food, clothing, and other materials Bad Ape needed to survive. He regularly visited this place to stock up, which allowed him to stay alive during hard times. This ingenuity and adaptation were key to his survival in a hostile world. 2 years after the beginning of the war between humans and apes, Bad Ape encountered Caesar's group, and after a brief confrontation he joined them, sharing his story and his food.
Are there more like you? More apes from zoo?
Bad Ape led Caesar's group to the Alpha Omega base, assisting in the rescue mission despite his initial fear. Bad Ape played a crucial role in the rescue of Caesar and his colony, using his small stature to navigate through tight places, finding subterranean routes. He helped free the apes, and was also at Caesar's funeral, at the beginning of the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie. Bad Ape suffered greatly from Caesar's death, and remained accompanying Caesar's son and Morris. Now, we don't know for sure what happened to Bad Ape after Caesar's death. We do know that he is part of the clan, and that he followed Caesar's ideology, Many have mentioned the possibility that Bad Ape was the ancestor of Proximus Caesar. In the Caesar trilogy, we saw that Bad Ape was a clumsy and funny ape. But there is something we must take into account. Bad Ape is from a different group of apes than Caesar, and he was the only one who survived. No one taught Bad Ape to talk or communicate, yet he was able to communicate very well. Bad Ape might even be smarter than Caesar, as he was a self-learning ape. Being an evolved bonobo, he is from the same race as Proximus Caesar, and it is for that reason that many claim Bad Ape could be his ancestor, as Proximus stood out for his intelligence. However, there is something very interesting about Bad Ape's story that the director of the Caesar trilogy, Matt Reeves, mentioned. He said the following: Bad Ape was meant to start widening the fictional world for future sequels by establishing that other apes across the world beyond Caesar's colony were mentally uplifted by the simian flu. He added, Bad Ape is really critical to this story, but he's actually a seed that's planted that sort of says that that's a widening up of the world. It's not just Caesar's apes. There are other apes elsewhere, and those apes haven't had the benefit of Caesar's leadership. And so who knows what they're like, and they certainly wouldn't necessarily have the level of empathy and integrity that he's tried to instill in his family of apes. So future conflicts might not just be human and ape. This means that Bad Ape is the basis for the story of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Although his story seemed to be one of comedy, it was a foreshadowing of what would happen in the next film, as we have seen how different ape colonies are now at war. Just like Bad Ape's clan, it is possible that Noah's clan is from a group of apes who had never been in contact with Caesar. And that is why they come into conflict with Proximus. When we look back at the story of Bad Ape, we realize that it is perhaps one of the most important elements in this universe, because it is evidence that more ape clans may exist. Just like Proximus Caesar's empire, other clans could exist in other states in the United States, as well as more humans in other bunkers. The Planet of the Apes universe is much bigger than we might initially think, and Bad Ape is an example of this. But tell me, what do you think of all this? Could it be that Bad Ape was the basis for the story of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? Could it be that Bad Ape was the ancestor of Proximus Caesar? And for more videos from the Planet of the Apes universe, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You are on The Oasis Geek.